What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Everything Everyday podcast hosted by me, Darrel Long. Now, listen, if you're new here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button because today we're going to be diving into some serious tea in the black world of black media, right? In the world of black media. Now, we have two of the biggest juggernauts in black media. We have Roland Martin and Charlamagne Tha God. They are going at it again, and this time it's getting messy. So we're going to be we have to take a look at how influential both of these people are in black media and why I think that people beefing in black media, especially publicly beefing over politics, responsibility, and what it means to inform our community properly. I think this is something that needs to be talked about, something that's very important. Now, again, if you guys are here, hit the like button, subscribe. I appreciate all of you guys for joining. This isn't just some petty celebrity drama. I'm not really here for that. I'm not really here for, petty bullshit drama. To me, that becomes a waste of time, a major waste of time. Um, I would like to, I would like to talk about why I believe Charlamagne was right on this one. I'm not even gonna lie. I think Charlamagne was right on this one. I think that Charlamagne did the right thing on this one. Um, he wanted people to get fed, and I feel like there's nothing wrong with that. But again, when we're talking about real issues affecting people, I feel like we have to have honesty on both sides. And both Charlamagne Tha God and Roland Martin both had points. All right. But let me break down to you guys what happened, why it matters, and why this beef reveals that there's something deeper that's happening in the black media space right now. Like Democrats are not getting along. Democrats are not genuinely, um, they're not really proud about what happened as far as opening the government back up and giving people SNAP benefits. I guess at the cost of, how can I say it? What's the right words? So I have my notes here, but I don't want to look at I don't want to refer to my notes. But I know it's something about healthcare. Healthcare is going to go up. SNAP benefits is going to go back to normal. But let me go to the video. That way I can have the bosses inform me. Let's start off where everything started, right? This spark started at Roland Martin, to be honest. He was the one that started it. Back in November 2025, the government shutdown began. Federal workers were not being paid. SNAP benefits were in jeopardy, and millions of Americans, especially Black Americans, were feeling like they might not be able to feed their families. So Charlamagne Tha God goes on to the Breakfast Club and he says that Democrats need to just give up. They need to just concede to some points and end this shutdown because people are suffering right now. I actually agree with that point. On the surface, many people do. Like, many people understand that point on the surface. However, it's when you got single mothers wondering how they're going to feed their children because they don't have SNAP benefits, that becomes a problem. When you have federal workers missing mortgage payments, that becomes a problem. You have real families going through real things, real issues. It's not a joke no more. Like at this point, I don't care about having certain conversations about relationships and stuff like that because this is more important, right? I listen, I'm on Charlemagne's side. I believe the Democrats did the right thing. I believe the Democrats are going to go down in history as the party that fed the people, right? But this is where Roland Martin comes in. Roland Martin on this panel right here, Roland Martin in his panel on his show called Roland Martin Unfiltered, they basically tore into Charlemagne and said that Charlemagne was beyond idiotic and that he was spreading misinformation to the black community. All right. Literally. That's what they were saying. So we had to look at both arguments. Roland Martin, his argument is that the shutdown was specifically about healthcare subsidies, and that caving, as many people are saying the Democrats did, will cause a long-term damage that will hurt black people way worse than this temporary shutdown would, right? That's what Roland Martin argument is. Basically, he's saying Charlamagne is advocating for a short-term band-aid, right? Putting a band-aid over this issue, and eventually it's going to still grow and fester into a bigger issue, right? So first, I want to show you guys that clip. Then I'm going to go into Donkey of the Day. But let's go to the clip first.
Charlamagne was talking about this government shutdown, and he made a comment as related to what Democrats should be doing. Y'all have that? Okay, play it.
You know what I don't understand, Mimi, and I don't know, maybe you can explain it to me. That the healthcare is going to go up anyway because of the big, beautiful bill, because that didn't include the extension of the tax credits to keep the cost down. So if it's going up anyway, what's the point of Democrats taking the stand to keep the government still closed?
At this point, you're right, because the premiums, which the open enrollment started this weekend, November 1st, and so people are getting those letters in the mail. In fact, one person in Utah, a woman in Utah, she told ABC News that she opened her bill and saw that her monthly premium had already jumped from about $400 a month, Charlamagne, to over $2,000 a month. And so at this point, it's like, what's going to happen? Is it retroactive? Like, how is this going to work as we continue to go forward? So you're absolutely right.
And the premiums are set for a year. So at this point, if the premiums have already gone up, if they set for a year, at least give the people some relief and get the government back open.
Dude.
So you guys heard those were Charlamagne points. That's how he felt. He felt like the government should be let back open immediately. That the government, if you're going to go up on premiums, okay, fine. But at least allow people to be fed right now. At least allow people to, go out and go to Sam's Club and go to Walmart and make sure that their families are fed. Otherwise, they're going to be suffering. There's just no other way around it. They're going to be suffering. And if we have people that are suffering, they can't feed their families, eventually you have crime. Crime eventually goes up. That's just the name of the game. All right. Now, eventually, they would continue to just dog walk Charlamagne. I want to continue to show you guys this article. I'm going to show you guys this video. I'm getting back into streaming. I want to show you guys this video where they continue to dog walk Charlamagne Tha God. And Charlamagne had to respond, and he gave him Donkey of the Day. Let's go ahead and watch this.
Listen to what the hell he just said. That to me is beyond idiotic, because this battle that we're seeing is not solely about healthcare. Rebecca, I don't know what the hell that was. That was just bullshit.
Look, what I heard was an exchange of two people who don't understand how this works.
Now, that might be true. That might be true, because I'm somebody who I don't even understand how it works. I don't understand how. Most of us, we don't understand how this works. We don't. When it comes to politics, most of us are just trying to figure out who we identify with the most. Like, I'll be honest, I love Barack Obama because he's a black man with a black wife, black family. I can identify with that. I feel safe in knowing Obama wants what's best for people that look like me and him. And I trust Roland Martin for the same reasons. I really do. But on this one, I just couldn't find it to say these people should have to go 40 more days, 120 more days, 6 more months without feeding their children. To me, that seems like the wrong thing to do. Let's go back to the video.
So what they're talking about are the health insurance premiums that are in the marketplace. The marketplaces are the state exchanges. The state exchanges is because of Obamacare, AKA the Affordable Care Act. Here's the thing. Those premiums are effective January 1, 2026. You get about 60 days notice in most states. Some states put out their new expected premiums back in October, some kind of at the end of September. But this is giving notice of, hey, if you continue at the level of health insurance plan that you have, this is what you're going to start to pay effective January 1. And so the erroneous, I mean, this isn't just misinformation here. This starts to look like this is intentional disinformation. And for the audience,
Now that's crazy. Saying that Charlamagne will be out here intentionally misleading people. I mean, that's a strong accusation. It's a very strong accusation. I don't believe that Charlamagne, somebody who is focused on mental health, will be out here purposely misleading the audience. To me, that's a strong accusation. I'd rather you just say maybe he's misinformed. But to say that he is someone who is purposely doing it, I don't like conspiracy theories. You know, I don't like stuff like that. And I'm uncomfortable watching this because I trust Roland Martin to be somebody who delivers unbiased information to me. And this, with all due respect to him, because he is a member of Alpha Phi Alpha, the greatest fraternity to ever exist. I just don't understand why we got to have two black brothers fighting about children being fed. And I want to understand what these people are saying. And I still don't understand what she's saying. So let me just keep watching.
disinformation is where you have bad, misleading information that's intentionally targeted to a certain demographic. The demographic here is Black voters. The reason why is that Black voters are the base of the Democratic Party. Right now, the Democrats are in lockstep saying that, no, we're not going to give you the votes that you need in order to end this government shutdown. You Republicans need to come to us and work out a deal. And so by trying to talk to Black folks, so then Black folks can then talk to Democratic members of the House and Democratic members of the Senate to get Democrats to back down. That's what Charlamagne is trying to do here. What should happen if I was advising the Democratic Party is tell them, hey, look, there's some Republicans who have introduced clean resolution plus extension of the health insurance credits, sorry, not health insurance credits, but some of the discounts that the government will pay. So people aren't paying those exorbitant health insurance prices starting January 1.
I haven't seen my health insurance price go up. Maybe I got to check my check, but I haven't seen my health insurance price go up. Like literally at all. Maybe I got to talk to my wife about that, but I haven't seen my health insurance price go up. So I can't really say that they're impacting us to the point where my health insurance is going up sky high. What I am seeing is families starving. I am seeing that. I am seeing families not able to feed themselves. Me and my wife, we work 24/7. Well, she's a school teacher. I work at Amazon. But even when we're not working, I'm streaming, I'm doing videos. We work so much, so hard every single day. I don't understand why we're even having this conversation about why children shouldn't be fed. I'm going to be honest. To me, it's absolutely ridiculous.
So this is disinformation that we're seeing that Charlamagne is doing. This is not just mistaken information. This is intentional, going after Black voters.
Niambi, the reason I think it's bad advice is because when you are in political battles, you maximize your leverage. And when you are fighting on behalf of people, they understand that there are people who are not getting benefits. They know there are federal workers who are not getting their paychecks as well. But they also are dealing with an administration that's been slashing and burning and firing people indiscriminately as well. So all this is wrapped up. So what you do not do is you do not capitulate. You do not back down. You don't go, oh, well, you know what? Hey, we're just.
I think a part of this is that this is impacting people who are actually making money. Excuse me. When I think about everybody who has health insurance, I'm not thinking about poor people who are on SNAP. Like, this is almost like they're putting the middle class versus the lower class, because a lot of the people who are on SNAP, right? A lot of them work. A lot of them live in places like either New York, Detroit, Chicago. These are expensive cities to live in, right? I was just watching the video with the Boeing director. He was on some committee, and it was saying that inflation has went up like 8 or 9%, right? Everything costs more. But Boeing was only paying Boeing was only paying their coworkers and their workers and their engineers, blah 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 blah. They was paying those guys only like a 1% raise every 8 years, which means that they wasn't making as much money as they needed to make to keep up with inflation. Meanwhile, he got a 45% raise the very next like year. So I'm just saying these corporations are the real problem. The problem should never be people shouldn't be fed, because the middle class is going to have to pay more for their insurance. I can't accept that. Let's keep going.
Go ahead and pack it
Mhm.
in. No, you try to get as much as you can.
Well, absolutely. And this is why Wendy Williams' sidekick should not be trusted with political information. I've long had a beef with Charlamagne. So
Wendy Williams' sidekick. So are we dissing Wendy Williams now? And what does Wendy Williams have to do with this? Like, the condition that she's in right now, you shouldn't even be disrespecting Wendy Williams. She has nothing to do with what Charlamagne is doing now. Wendy Williams is a accredited legend in the space of journalism. I think people like Roland Martin and these other people who are up here, I just know Roland Martin. I don't know everybody else up here. I think a lot of times they get really, really, really jealous with the amount of money and publicity that entertainment news or entertainment journalists get, because these people are probably extremely educated. These people are probably been working in their fields for 20, 30 years, right? But at the same time, they're not going to get the audience that Charlamagne has. And a lot of people are going to watch The Breakfast Club and get their news before they go watch these people video. And I think that's the problem that they have is, and listen, I understand that problem. They're trying to say, well, listen, you're going to get more accurate information from us. If you go to them, they're going to get it. Entertainment is going to be fun, dressed up to be all, funny and shit, but it's not going to be accurate. You're going to be spoon-fed misinformation. And that's why I'm really looking forward to seeing what Charlamagne had to say. Let's keep going.
let's just stop there. But I will say, this is the exact point. This is why people need to do what it is that they do well. And when you don't understand health insurance or politics, you don't do that. You do entertainment news. Because what this is about is the fact that Republicans say want those premiums to go up and want them to go up permanently. That's why we're in this shutdown fight. That's why it's protracted. It is not on Democrats to just say, well, we'll give up everything so we can just open the government. That's not going to do anything for people come January when those insurance premiums go into effect. And the reason that people have been able to enjoy healthcare through the Affordable Care Act exchanges has largely been because of this subsidizing. And we did it during COVID. We can continue doing it. Republicans don't want to do it because they want to transfer money to their wealthy donors in the wealthy class.
So you want people to starve right now because in January their health insurance is going to go up? Is like, I don't know. I need more information on this because I grew up in Detroit, Michigan, in the ghetto. Most people are on Medicaid. They're not paying premium healthcare prices. That's not something that they're thinking about. I saw so many food banks in my city so many people hungry and starving because they didn't get their SNAP benefits. I work in Milwaukee. I can't tell you how many people out there was trying to just make sure people get their basic fucking needs met. And it's not easy. It's not easy. And it's going to entice crime when you have people who cannot feed their families. They're going to get food and get like they're going to get things done no matter what. No matter what, guys. All right, let me keep going.
Is the conversation. And if you're not having that conversation, then you're not being sincere. And you are certainly doing a disservice to the millions of listeners who come on that show. And this might be the only bit of political news they get. And some of those very same listeners are getting their insurance through these exchanges. So this is irresponsible at best. It's malfeasance at worst. And I think this is what burns me up about this kind of stuff, is because expertise has gone out the window. Good journalism has gone out the window in favor of entertainment. These are people's real lives. Charlamagne will be able to pay.
I don't know. So her name is Nyambi Carter, the author and associate professor of the School in Public Safety, University of Maryland. I don't know. I don't think good journalism is going out the window. I think at the end of the day, Black people choose to listen to who we want to listen to. I love the Breakfast Club. I've been listening to the Breakfast Club since I was in high school, back when Angela Yee was on there. It seemed like a good place I can just get a great conversation with some of the people who I want to hear from. I love the Breakfast Club. It's a great part of the culture. It connects politics, music, film, so many different avenues, so many different things that so many of us are interested in one space. So I genuinely appreciate the Breakfast Club and what they're doing. And I appreciate what you guys are doing on Roland Martin's show. What I think is that you guys need to collaborate. There needs to be more collaboration between people like Roland Martin and a Charlamagne Tha God, in my opinion.
For insurance any day of the week. He is a wealthy man, but most people who have to rely on these exchanges will not be able to do the same if the Democrats cave in and give the Republicans what they want right now, which is to have those premiums go up and have them go up with permanently, essentially.
And when you are winning the argument, when you are controlling the narrative, Cameron, you don't just say, here you go, take it away.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, I think this is politics 101. Unfortunately, like, the pain is very real across the country due to the government shutdown. The pain is very real state to state, as so many millions of people of all races are being hurt by SNAP benefits. The pain is really real for travelers who have hours and hours of waits and delays.
Exactly. This government shutdown is impacting everybody. Everybody. Why would I be comfortable with government workers who work at the airport not getting paid? Why would I want that? Oh, because healthcare is going to go up in January. Nobody want to hear that shit.
Because of TSA workers and air traffic controllers are not getting paid. It is definitely impacting even my own family. My sister's a nurse in the military. She has not received her paycheck. I've got plenty of friends who are active duty who are not receiving their paychecks. But all that aside, we have complained and we have seen how Trump has slashed education budgets, slashed healthcare budgets, has done so much to eliminate tens of thousands of jobs, not just in the.
I know that, like, every day we got to talk about everything else that Trump has done. But for a second, can we just stick to what's the topic? And the topic is it best for these children to be able to be fed right now? Or do we worry about healthcare premiums in January and keep the government shut down keep airports packed full of people and understaffed because people don't want to come to work and not get paid, right? What's more important? Let me keep going, man.
Government. And then all the ecosystems that when those government jobs, it's not just the person in the house loses jobs, the restaurants they go to, the child care center they could afford to used to send their kids to, and now they can't. So many other people are affected when all of these folks are losing their jobs. And Democrats, for once, have both the narrative on their side, because guess what? Republicans control the House, they control the Senate, they control the White House, and even though this is supposed to be nonpartisan, they control the Supreme Court as well. So they have all the levers of power. That it is on them to come up with something to if they want to really reopen the government. But they realize that
the Democrats, in my opinion, did what they were supposed to do, which is vote to reopen the government and feed people. The Democrats are sweeping the Republican primary right now. They are sweeping the primaries right now, period. And to be honest, the fucking Republicans are stressed out. State by state, they are losing elections. You want to know why? Because people realize they'll put party over people. The Republicans will put party over people. The Republicans will make sure that people don't eat. It's the Democrats that's going to go down in history as the people that made sure people ate. When a Republican fucking president had the longest shutdown in government history, federal agents and government employees not being paid. What are we talking about?
it is so untenable, especially when these ACA subsidies end at the end of the year, and they are hearing it in their districts that I can't afford a 50, 100, 150% increase in my health care. I'm going to have to come off of healthcare. And then hopefully I keep a job. I hope I keep my job that may be subsidizing the healthcare. And small businesses and large businesses are looking at to what levels they're going to fund their employees.
I haven't seen my healthcare go up 150%. Well, I guess they're saying that this is going to happen in January. I mean, okay, I'll see. Until then, give people food. Allow people a chance to eat. That's all, bro. This is all this is about, is kids eating. It's not a big deal. It's not something that we need to go back and forth about. This is kids eating. This is families. It's our students, Americans. I don't know, man.
Employees healthcare because those costs are going up. So this is an opportunity where they need to do, and at the Democratic Party, and I think they've been doing a good job. They can continue to even do better and do more to educate people on exactly why the government is shut down, what they are fighting for, and what they hope to see if Republicans are to expect any votes from Democrats to reopen the government.
I don't know. I think the Democrats did the right thing. I'm standing 10 toes down that the Democrats, if they had left the government shut down, people are going to suffer. And the Republicans don't care. They don't care. Now, Charlamagne, if you know anything about Charlamagne, the God, you know that he's not the kind of person that's just going to let critics. Let me do this whole part again, guys. Ciao. If you guys know anything about Charlamagne Tha God, you know that he's not the type of person that is going to take criticism lying down. So what does he do? He gives Roland Martin Donkey of the Day. And for those who don't know, Donkey of the Day is Charlamagne's signature segment where he calls out people for doing or saying something foolish. It's usually hilarious and entertaining, but it also can be sometimes brutal. Charlamagne defended his original segment, saying that it was just a different opinion, right? So he has a difference of opinion. He said that it wasn't misinformation. He emphasized that his concern was for everyday people who were suffering in the moment and starving. He basically said that I'm thinking about people who need help today, not some political chess game about healthcare 6 months later. But then this is where it gets spicy. Charlamagne Tha God called out Roland Martin as a partisan Democrat dancing machine and accused him of being a hater who was just making the issue about his own personal hate for Donald Trump. And to be called a Democratic dancing machine is kind of crazy, especially coming from Charlamagne, who has his own crazy history. You know, I'm not gonna go into his history, his personal stuff, and he also got some crazy history of being critical of the Democratic Party while at the same time supporting them. He was the one that was saying that Kamala Harris should have been doing more while she was running. As you guys know, I'm a big supporter of Kamala Harris. I got the magazine back there. I got 107 days. But he was, in my opinion, overly critical of Kamala Harris. But let me go ahead and show you guys this Donkey Today clip. I cannot actually show the video part, just the audio, guys, because I can't risk getting flagged. So let me find that video now, and you guys will hear the audio. Here it is right now.
Government back up because people are out here suffering. Okay, keyword right now. So open the government back up because people are out here suffering. Roland didn't like that. Okay, he posted this video with the headline, Beyond Idiotic, Roland tears down Charlamagne's shut down misinformation. That's the word that got my attention, misinformation. What did I say that was misinformation? Well, let's listen to Roland Martin.
Do me a favor. Do not listen to people like Charlamagne Tha God, okay? So Charlamagne was talking about this government shutdown, and he made a comment as relates to what Democrats should be doing. Y'all have that? Do not listen to what the hell he just said. That to me is beyond idiotic, because this battle that we're seeing is not solely about healthcare. Rebecca, I don't know what the hell that was. That was just bull.
Roland, what makes what I said BS? I said the healthcare is going to go up anyway because of the big, beautiful bill, because that didn't include the extension of the tax credits to keep the cost down. That's fact-based.
I mean, that is fact-based. Healthcare is going to go up. Donald Trump put the big, beautiful bill in, which is crazy that we're calling it that. But he put this bill in, and it's going to raise people's healthcare, okay, in January. But Charlamagne was saying everything that's facts, but let's keep going. I'm only pausing it for fair use purposes.
So where was the misinformation? Roland, you may not agree that Dems should concede and vote for the government to be reopened, but don't say it's misinformation. So if healthcare premiums have already gone up and are fixed for the year, then keeping the government closed, the fight for lower premiums makes no sense to me, especially when on top of high healthcare prices, so many people are suffering right now because of the government shutdown. And that's what I care about, the people. Okay, that's why I said what I said, because of the people who are being hurt by this. Not to mention people not getting.
Hey, and that's why I ultimately got to agree with Charlamagne. Let me put this down for a second. That's why I got to ride with Charlamagne on this one. Are we talking about politics or are we talking about the people? And if it's not the people, then I don't want to talk about it, because I'm watching people out here starving in my city. I'm watching people, because I live in Chicago now, but I'm from Detroit. And I'm watching people starving, people not having, people who are relying on these SNAP benefits to feed their family, and they don't got it. Dark days, bro. Dark days. You feel me? I'm seeing men make fun of the situation, talking about, you know what I'm saying, they can get coochie for $40. Because again, we don't have a society of men that's focused on doing right by these women. What are you focused on doing? Using them, right? Being predatory. That's what I'm saying, bro. Listen, I'm not saying that Roland Martin and others who feel as he do have valid points. I'm pretty sure they do. I'm pretty sure that y'all do. But at the same time, I feel like feeding people is always the thing to do. Always. Give them SNAP benefits and allow them to go from there. Let me go back to this video.
Getting SNAP benefits. So how was what I said some BS? How was that misinformation? But to say it's some BS and label it as misinformation, that's just a lie. If Roland knows this, but he would rather sell y'all false hope instead of telling you the truth. And a lot of people I've spoken to in government, Democrats, by the way, feel like that's why pinning a shutdown strategy around this issue was foolish to begin with. That's why I said last week Democrats lost. Okay, as you can see, that seems to be the case because they reached a tentative agreement yesterday that does not include an extension of the ACA subsidies. And you know who will be one of the first people out here fake dragging Democrats for YouTube views because of that? Roland Martin. Even though he knew that was going to be the obvious political outcome from the beginning.
And when you are fighting on behalf of people, they understand that there are people who are not getting benefits. They know there are federal workers who are not getting their paychecks as well.
You know why Roland Martin can say that so nonchalantly? Because he's not potentially facing eviction because he hasn't paid his rent for the month. He doesn't need any money this month to pay for his child care.
I mean, that's a valid point. And that's what I kind of got out of this as well. A lot of people complaining about health benefits are middle-class people that work TV jobs. These are not people that are growing up in the ghetto and relying on SNAP benefits. We're not these kind of people, bro. Very, 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 very disappointed. And some of the responses I've been seeing to people upset that children are being fed now. Very disappointed. Let me finish Charlamagne Donkey today.
In SNAP benefits, food, does Roland Martin, Labubu built ass, look like he's missing any meals?
Damn.
There is a reason Roland Martin wants to paint the Breakfast Club, me in particular, as a person spreading misinformation. See, I'm going to pull the curtain back a little bit, not too much because it really don't matter. I just want some of you to know people's motivation. Roland Martin is a hater. Okay,
Damn.
He be hating on me behind the scenes to anybody who will listen. He will say something negative about me, and it's always in regards to how I'm moving in this media space. In particular, anything in the political realm. It's always a, why does he get this? Why does he get that type of thing? Why is he on cable news? Why do politicians go sit with the Breakfast Club? Roland, I don't know. Okay, favor ain't fair, but he will do all that hating, but loves texting my phone asking to come on the Breakfast Club. Correct, Envy? Does it? Okay, just be.
Child, the tea is piping fucking hot. So Roland, you're rolling around here, child, and you're trying to be on the Breakfast Club while talking shit to Charlamagne. Invite Charlamagne to your show, right? That way we know it's not about clout. Invite Charlamagne to your show, and you guys debate why you believe and be fed right now. I'm genuinely interested in hearing this debate. Let's keep going.
Super correct. Roland, I am not your competition, and I refuse to be responsible for how you feel about yourself. You accuse Breakfast Club of spreading misinformation because you are trying to discredit me and the platform I have helped to build as if that's going to amplify what you're doing. You don't have to do that, brother. You already up. You are a 56-year-old seasoned political pundit. You have a lot of respect. You are a trusted source for a lot of people, Roland. Be secure in that and stop projecting your insecurities onto me. There's a lot of things I disagree with Roland on, and even with knowing he be sneak dissing, not once until today have I ever spoken on him in a public manner. And it's never been disparaging. Not even a fat joke. And I always thought Tariq Nasheed calling him Gerald Dessert was hilarious. But Roland out here...
Gerald Dessert is crazy.
lying, accusing us of spreading misinformation, that's an intentional attack to discredit us. What if I did an intentional attack to discredit you? What if I said, could someone out there make me an AI video? Okay, I want an AI video of the Stephanie Mills challenge. And I want Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffrey singing, I never knew love like this before. And I want Roland Martin in the background of that video dancing for Democrats like he do. I'm talking boogieing for biscuits. And I want the caption to say, we told Roland Martin he can cut in line at the all-you-can-eat Bussy buffet if he agreed to be our backup dancer. What if I asked people to do that for me? That would be an intentional attack, but I'm not going to do that. All I'm going to ask you to do, sir, is don't tell no lie on me, and I won't speak truth about you.
I think Charlamagne made himself extremely clear. I think Charlamagne made himself extremely clear, and he had very, very, very valid points. Now let's get to Roland Martin clapback. Roland Martin did not let this slide, not even a little bit. He came back on his show and said, I'm not hard on us. I'm hard on facts. Roland Martin rejected the idea that this was just a difference of opinion. He argued that Charlamagne's position was factually wrong and that promoting it was irresponsible, given Charlamagne have a massive platform. And this is where Roland Martin argument get interesting. He also said that Black-owned media has a higher responsibility to be accurate, especially on political issues about disproportionately impacts that all of this shit has on the Black community. Think about that for a second. Roland is essentially saying that he can't afford to get this wrong. Our people are already dealing with enough misinformation from mainstream audiences and mainstream media and politicians and social media. When Black media get it wrong, it hit different versus non-Black media because our community already don't trust us. We got to earn their trust. That's a heavy burden. All right. I want to show you guys the response, and you guys let me know if you believe that Roland Martin is actually right about this. All right. Now, he says information is power. Let's go ahead and go to the video right now.
Because I have too much respect for this microphone, and I have too much respect for the audience, to be given something that's half correct. And again, I wasn't going to do this, but I'm just going to give y'all an example. Today, again, in that 20-minute discussion that Charlamagne had, and again, this is not tearing down. I'm just stating what happens when a basic statement is made, and maybe you're not thinking about what you're saying that's actually wrong. Charlamagne was quoting Bishop William Barber, talking about the big ugly bill. And he said when the bill passed, quote, Democrats failed to expand the tax credits. I want y'all to hear what I just said. Charlamagne said Democrats failed to expand the tax credits. Here's the problem. They didn't have the power. Republicans control the House. They control whether a bill comes to the floor. They had the votes. Republicans control the Senate. Now, some of y'all watching right now, see, I'm going to explain to y'all politics.
Now, I do think that Roland Martin is much more, he's much more experienced when it comes to politics. So he's going to be right. I'm sorry, Charlamagne, when it comes to the structure and listen, I would listen to him before I listen to Charlamagne. Well, I think the problem is it's just be so boring sometimes for us to listen to media, and it's just, I don't know, it's boring. We need some type of entertainment value when we listen to it. I know it sounds so fucked up, but that's just the truth. Let's keep going.
Some of y'all watching right now are going, I don't understand. They needed 8 Democrats to break the filibuster. Yes, because the big ugly bill was passed through a process called reconciliation. Uh-oh. The reconciliation process does not require 60 votes. The reconciliation process only requires a simple majority. Do y'all know how the Affordable Care Act got passed? Through reconciliation. Yeah. See, these are the arcane things in politics that I don't expect the average person to know.
We don't know. That's why we do trust people like Roland Martin. And I trust Roland Martin. I would listen to Roland Martin every single day. As a matter of fact, I'm going to start tapping into him more. Because as a father and a husband, I need to know these things. And I think that a healthy balance of Charlamagne's show, The Breakfast Club, and Roland Martin's show will put me in a place where I can learn everything I need to about these situations and be as knowledgeable as possible.
My job is to explain to the people these arcane things and make it simple for them. So there are some bills that pass the Senate by unanimous consent, meaning I move they pass it by unanimous consent. Okay, empty chamber. It's a post office, whatever. So remember that Charlie Kirk, day. That's how that thing was passed. People like, well, Democrats didn't vote on it. Weren't even in the chamber. Should have been one objecting. Rand Paul did that when it came to the June. See, y'all got to remember Juneteenth. Senator Rand Paul, the reason Juneteenth didn't become federal law when Trump was there the first time, because Senator Rand Paul objected to it being passed by unanimous consent. So you can have one or two.
See, none of us, I don't even know what bro talking about right now. You feel me? I would have to do extensive research just to listen to bro. I have no clue what bro is saying right now. Rand Paul? I don't know what Rand Paul is talking about. Who is Rand Paul? Let me know in the comments below. I have no idea who is Rand Paul.
2 senators in the entire chamber, and they could pass a bill by unanimous consent and don't require all 100 showing up. That's one way you pass a bill. Another way you pass a bill is the reconciliation process, which has some rules there, what you can and cannot do. The Senate parliamentarian has the rule on it. That's literally what the big ugly bill, how it was passed, by simple majority. The continuing resolution.
Now I gotta look up all these different type of majorities versus et cetera, et cetera. I gotta do a whole video about the big beautiful bill because I'm misinformed. I'm not sure everything that's in the big beautiful bill. I'm not sure how it's harmful to me as an American, as a black man. These are things that I look to, or I need to look to people like Roland Martin or Charlamagne for. I go to work every single day. I don't read as much as I used to. I'm not as informed as I used to be. So I listen to people like this because I need to be informed about these things. And I wish they wasn't fighting. I wish they wasn't beefing. This is unnecessary and doesn't do anybody no good to have y'all beefing. Let's keep going.
That required 60 votes. Those are details. Those are nuances. But I still believe they have to be explained. So it's incorrect for Charlamagne to say, quote, Democrats failed to expand the tax credits. How could they fail to expand it when they didn't have the power? Republicans did.
That I did know. That's true. Fair enough. Okay.
So should the statement have actually said the GOP cut the subsidies? The GOP cut the tax credits. See, y'all missed that. Y'all missed that. I want to walk y'all through very basic understanding language. If the phrase is Democrats failed to expand the tax credits, that means that you are assigning blame for the tax credits expiring on the Democrats because they failed to expand the tax credits. But if the language is the GOP cut the tax credits, that's the appropriate language. Why? Because they control the House, control the Senate, control the White House. So just that one line right there completely changes the context of the conversation. Which is why words matter, why language matters, and why we can't be reckless or lazy with how we construct words, because you can change the context of a discussion by changing the words.
I actually agree with that. I actually completely agree. I think that Charlamagne did blame the Democrats for that, and he did it intentionally. He did it intentionally, the same way that he blamed the Democrats for not coming up with an actual primary candidate that everybody wanted. They just placed Kamala there and really they kind of gave her an impossible task. All right. What do you guys think about this whole situation with Roland Martin and Charlamagne Tha God? Do you guys believe that Charlamagne's right? He's on the side where he believes people are suffering in real time during the government shutdown. Um, Charlamagne believes that this political gamesmanship, it feels disconnected from people who have real lives. He's right that, in my opinion, the Democratic Party sometimes prioritizes optics or principles over immediate relief for struggling people. I also believe that Charlamagne is definitely right about how he allowed that he's allowed to have a difference of opinion without being labeled as somebody who is spreading misinformation. On Roland Martin's side, I believe that he's right about not all opinions are created equal, especially when it comes to politics and you have this major platform. Roland Martin also is right about advocating for healthcare subsidies and the potential, because we don't know, the potential long term consequences that this reopening the government may have. He could be right about those things. He also could be right that black media has bigger responsibility, this bigger responsibility to really to be as accurate as possible. My favorite person to listen to is Teslin Figueroa. Personally, like when she speaks, it's easier for me to digest everything, and she's very intelligent, extremely beautiful. But I'm married. I don't want to talk about that. But she's my favorite person to listen to. She stands on 100% business, and she's always holding the Republicans and the Democrats accountable. She doesn't have any bias. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I can rely on. Roland Martin and Charlamagne Tha God, they both seem to have their own little biases, but I like them both, and I'm going to continue to support them both. That's just as simple as it is. I'm wondering, how do you guys feel about this whole debate? Do you guys believe that Charlamagne was right? Do you guys believe that Roland Martin was right? I really want you guys to just leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think about this. I think both of these guys are going to regret doing this little beef right now. And eventually we're going to get to the conversation about just making sure children are fed. That's it. With that being said, guys, I am out of here. I got other videos to work on. I promised myself this won't be more than an hour long. That way I can, structure my time. If you guys, again, like this, please support the channel any way you can. If you don't want to support via Cash App, then just hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the video out. And I appreciate that. And leave a comment below. Like, if you support Charlamagne, put Charlamagne in the chat. If you support Roland Martin, put Roland Martin in the chat. And if you have a reason why you believe the government should be shut down still and the Democrats cave, let me know. If I'm wrong, let me know. This is a commentary channel. We just want to have conversations. That's all. With that being said, I am out of here. Peace, guys.